All right, well, I see it's now 4:05, so we'll go ahead and get started. So welcome everyone to our CIELO workshop series for the month of August. So excited for all of you to be here. Nice to see some familiar faces and nice to see some new ones as well too. So before we get into today's topic, I want to do a quick introduction as to who we are and what we do here at CIELO. So quick introduction, my name is Alvarez. I'm a program manager here at CIELO. Been with CIELO for, will be 2 years in December, and been doing this type of work for longer. And CIELO, who we are and what we do. CIELO stands for Community for Innovation, Entrepreneurship, Leadership, and Opportunities. We officially launched in 2015, but we've been helping our clients since 2012. We're a nonprofit organization helping aspiring entrepreneurs become business owners. So one nice thing about us being a nonprofit is all of our services and everything that we do is at no cost to our clients. So we're able to operate in a way where we don't charge our clients for what we do. We help you build and develop the entrepreneur mindset needed to help you achieve success. We provide the resources and guidance, and you provide the hard work and the passion. So you may be wondering, what services do we offer at CIELO? What do we do? We do offer a small business development training program, which I'll talk about a little bit more in our next slide. We offer this monthly workshop series. So this workshop that you're attending right now, we do have a similar workshop every month. It's the last Wednesday of every month. Each month is a different subject topic with different subject matter experts. Along with that, we also offer one-on-one small business coaching. It all kind of goes in involved with the small business development training that we do. So if you're a new business owner or thinking about starting a business, we do offer a chance for you to talk to a small business coach and discuss your idea a little bit more. We also have a client navigation and support team to help you get to business launch. So one thing that kind of sets us apart at CIELO versus maybe other organizations, when we go through a small business development training, we don't want it to end with the conclusion of the training program. We want to be there for you and help navigate you to actual business launch. So we have a climate navigation team headed by our colleague, Gabby, which I know a lot of you know who Gabby, or have met Gabby at some point, to help support you and get you to business launch. And even when you get to business launch, we want to be there to support you afterwards. So if you have any questions or any needs, we want you to ask us here at CIELO, and we'll direct you or help you in any way we can. We also have a microgrant program for CIELO business startups. If you're an existing client with CIELO and you've gone through our small business development training program, you may be eligible to apply for a microgrant that helps towards startup expenses. And I do see some of our participants here, attendees here, are some of our microgrant winners in the past. So it's always good to see them. And along with that, we also provide connections to small business resources and services. So like I mentioned, we want to be there for you as you are developing your business. Some upcoming events. Speaking about our small business development training program, our next cohort for the CIELO Small Business Startup Program is actually starting on Tuesday. So this is a Tuesday after Labor Day, September 6, 2022 at 4 p.m. Take a journey on the Entrepreneur Roadmap to Business Launch. This is a 6-week training program for entrepreneurs and startups. It includes 3 weeks of live classroom training and also 3 weeks of one-on-one business coaching. We do meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4 to 5 p.m. for those 3 weeks for the live classroom training. Some topics that we cover are how to pick a business name, advertising on social media, introduction to business financials, and much, much more. So if you're interested in registering, we still have some spots left for this upcoming program starting on Tuesday. If you see that flyer to the right, you can go ahead and scan that QR code to register. You can also email us at info@cielocommunity.org. And I haven't checked, but I'm sure we'll have the link in the chat box as well too, to click and register if you are interested in registering for that program. And as a reminder, that program again is at no cost for our clients. So that brings us to today's topic. So today's topic is how to strategically grow your small business following on social media. This is a topic that does get asked by a lot of our clients here at CIELO. And I have to admit, I'm not a subject matter expert in this, so I'm so happy to have Sheila Ray to talk about this and get into more detail. Sheila Ray is the owner of Sheila Ray Inc. This is her website, sheilaray.com. And definitely encourage all of you to explore that when you have a chance. So with that said, I'm very excited, Sheila, that you're here. And I'll say the floor is yours.
Oh, Alex, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let me share screen as well. Okay, I'm gonna kick you off. There we go. I can, hold on 1 second. Go. Okay, can everyone see okay? Great, awesome. Okay, so we're going to go through the slideshow, but I don't want it to just be me speaking. If you have any questions as we go through, feel free to unmute yourself and ask away. I want to be more interactive, more engaging. And if it's a question that doesn't super relate to the topic, we can save it for the Q&A at the end. Okay. So how do we effectively grow our audience on social media and engage with people? So that's what we're going to review today. But first, a little background about myself. I know Alex explained a little bit, and if you were here for the overall social media presentation, we would have met before, but I didn't really go into my story as much even then. And I think it's important because a lot of us are just starting out. We're solo entrepreneurs, or we have a business idea. We're trying to get started. And I feel like when I was in that stage, more so, I was so focused on my skill set and being the best I could be in my area and having the most knowledge. And it wasn't until I became a corporate manager and project manager, kind of went into the corporate realm, which I was not expecting to do, but unfortunately, my family had some financial troubles. So I quickly switched gears in that direction. And it kind of forced me from becoming a technician mindset to being open to understanding a wider group of people and eventually leading my own team. And in order to do that, you really have to take the time to listen and to care about others. And in a similar light with social media and marketing in general, the focus is not really about you anymore. It's about knowing what your audience needs, what they want, what they're attracted to, what they're interested in, and then kind of work backwards from there. How can your service or how can your products assist in those areas that they need? So that's what I learned through being an operations manager at the time. And then so once it was kind of time for me to move on from that area or that chapter, I felt more prepared to be the leader of my own organization and reach out to my audience more at a higher level of confidence because I did my research ahead of time and I learned what they needed essentially. So do we have any questions there? Okay, feel free to speak up. Okay, so last time we went through branding concepts, our content formula, insights and tracking, hashtags, invitation cycles, and messaging and engagement. So I like to look at social media as a workbook, and these would be the chapters that we are able to use, I would say, in an organic sense. So not really that we have to pay for in terms of ads or boosting. So this is what we have control over. And I kind of shed some light on all these chapters in a big brushstroke sense. So we didn't get into the fine details. There just wasn't enough time. So now we can focus on the last two chapters, which is what people really want to know. How do we convert our followers? How do we get our followers? How do we maintain them? And how do we kind of get that into the sales funnel, so to speak? So we're going to be reviewing that right now. So first we have our invitation cycle. So we find specific users, like I mentioned before, that will benefit from our content or our product. And then we follow those users, staying in our guidelines that Instagram has for us, or Facebook. We're going to use Instagram in this case as our main example, since we have more control, we have more options available. And then secondly, we'll be discussing engagement. So how do we communicate with our followers once we get them? Do we forget about them? Do we just are happy with the numbers that they give us? Or do we reach out? And if so, how? So these are the questions that we'll be answering in that segment. Okay. So the reality of gaining followers. I don't know how many are familiar or if we've ever purchased followers, or how do we feel like we get them? Is it by posting the best post possible or reels? What do people think?
Why you post in the Instagram or any social media?
Specifically Instagram, but you can feel free to discuss any. Like, what are your ideas on how to get followers?
Well, I follow the same business that I have it, so that way I think I can get connection.
Okay, yeah, that's a very good concept. So actually, Laura is right on the money there. But just to review some of the ways that are not very effective, buying followers is not great because you can risk getting shut down. And oftentimes the followers that you purchase are shell accounts, and they're not likely in your network, or if you're a local company, they might be out of the city or out of the state, country even. So you really want to niche down and find the people that are not just going to follow you, but are going to engage and potentially become a client. Let's see. Oh, engaging content. So like I said, having the best posts or the best reels will help, but it will not give you the most followers. It is our responsibility, though, to make sure we are posting as best as we can to have the content that is going to help our audience in some way, whether it's entertain them, whether it's give them knowledge, whether it's a discount. So that is our responsibility, having a social media account. Hashtags. Hashtags will help your posts get more reach, so reach more people, which could yield in more followers, but not so much. So the best way kind of has a bad stigma attached to it, which is the follow for follow. And we do something similar, but in a responsible way. So when we follow, I think it's in the next slide, we don't just follow, we invite. So if we look at our account as a home, so we're inviting people into our house. We're not just going to invite everybody off the street or random people that we don't know. We're going to take time and figure out who would enjoy the party, who would be engaging with the fellow guests, and are they going to benefit from what we have at the party? Are they going to like the music? Are they going to like the food? So on. So we have to think about that when we're inviting people into our page or our account. So to do that, we find places or other accounts and we follow their followers, or we follow posts that they like that are similar to what we have to offer. And so when we do that, we make sure that they are local so they can come to the party, so to speak, or they can engage and potentially benefit more in general. So invitation cycles, instead of following cycles, I'm calling them invitation because that's the difference between following blindly. So going on your, maybe the For You page or just kind of following whatever is suggested. That's more the follow for follow, I feel. And the invitation is after we've done our research and due diligence. So do we have any questions there on that, the difference in that kind of mindset? No, I'm going to take that as a no. Okay, so this is where we get into the detail.
Sheila?
Yes.
Sheila, when you say hashtag is not too effective, what other ways to
Yes.
use? What are other good things to do?
Okay, so yeah, if we go back to the hashtags, using the right hashtags will help you reach more people and more accounts. So you should always do that. But it's not going to be the highest return. So the highest return is going to be researching areas to find followers that are going to be more likely to benefit from what we have to offer and likely to follow back. And the specific ways we can do that is we find an account that's similar to ours, but preferably non-competing. You can find a competing account, but I kind of feel like it's kind of bad karma. So I just do similar. A great example is, let's say you have an Italian restaurant, you're an Italian restaurant owner. Maybe you find a local Mexican restaurant. And I feel like they're similar. The food is kind of heavy, very savory and delicious, of course. But I feel like the people who would follow the Mexican restaurant would also follow my Italian restaurant, as an example. Can we think of different examples? Maybe if we're a relationship coach, maybe if I follow the followers of maybe a yoga coach or nutrition coach. So similar again, but not really directly competing. Does anybody have any other examples that they can think of? Maybe for them?
I have one for CIELO.
Okay.
Maybe, so like instead of following, although it's good to see what resources these people are sharing, but instead of following like the direct competitors of CIELO, right? Maybe following the followers of, pop-up hosts account, because like if there are pop-up shops going on in the community, a lot of the people involved in that are small businesses or small business owners. Would that be an example?
Yeah, that's perfect. That'd be great. Or even venues that maybe hold those kinds of opportunities, for sure. So when we go to, let's say I'm the Italian restaurant, I go to this Mexican restaurant I found, this Instagram account, I'm scrolling through their followers because we know that their followers are similar. But I'm not blindly following their followers. I'm looking for the ones that are active. And we'll be able to find that quickly by seeing if there's a pink ring around their profile picture, which means that they've posted to their story in the last 24 hours. So there's a good chance that they will see it right away and then hopefully follow back. So that's the idea. You can take it a step further and you can go into that active account and you can see how many followers they have, how big are they, and kind of compare that to perhaps your account, because sometimes we don't want to follow someone that has much less followers than we do. So maybe more on the same level. But again, that's not always the case. Let's see. Trying to move this bar. Hold on one second. Technical difficulty. Okay. Oh, there we go. Just had to move you guys so I could see the rest of the slide. Okay. So another way, a recent post that is promoting a similar product. So let's say, again, using the example as Italian restaurant, perhaps I see a dish that's similar to what we offer, and it's from a local person, and there's a lot of people that liked it. So what I can do is I can go into that particular post, see who liked it, and start following those people. We already know they're active because they liked it recently. It's a recent post. So that's another way.
Sheila.
Yes.
Could you give me or give us an example in this specific time to follow someone? Because I really don't know how to use, for example, Instagram. I know just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So do you understand the concept about, let's say, I find an account, like another person, and I look at their follower list, and then
no, I don't.
No?
I don't know. No.
Okay.
That's okay, Leonel. Maybe this is something that I can help you with in another appointment. Is that okay?
We'll definitely talk then. Okay. That's a good question though, because everybody's at different levels.
Yeah.
And once you know, it's not something that you really have to learn. It's just a matter of having that knowledge and applying it. And that's what we can do maybe shortly after. Okay. So again, there's so many places where we can find our followers or our guests. Geotags is one of my favorites. Does anybody know what geotags are? So we can look up places, like let's say Disneyland, for example. So we can type in Disneyland into the search bar, like here, and we'll go to places because we don't want to look at tags necessarily or other accounts. We find the place, then there's going to be two sections, top and recent. We want to go to recent because then we know people are most active there and are recently posted. So then we will follow them. However, for business to business, you want to search broader. So let's say my business is in Long Beach. I want to search for Long Beach, California, or in this case, we have Orange County, California. We'll do the same thing. We'll go to our search bar at the top of our phone, then we'll find the place. And the reason why it's broader, does anyone know why that is? Why business to business, we want to search in a broader location as opposed to a specific place?
Yeah, I believe so, because the community is gonna buy in a place no more than five miles away.
No, that is true. Yes. But if you think about it, if you're a small business and you're looking for another small business, people are going to put more of a, like you said, more of a broader category or broader radius because they want to reach more people in that location. Usually, if I'm a consumer, I'm not a business person, I want to highlight the area that I'm at, the specific area, whether it's a restaurant or a mall or Disneyland, because that's what's important to me. So to find, if you're a business looking for another business, search kind of a broader city. If you're a business looking for more of consumers, search for more specific kind of locations. Okay, just checking the chat, but feel free if you just want to ask questions. Okay. So does everybody understand how we're looking for people through the place tags or the geotags? Okay, I think so. So let me give you an example. Let's say I'm a relationship coach or some type of coach, and I'm looking for families or couples. Disneyland is perfect. There's a lot of local people that go to Disneyland and regulars, and usually family, or you can tell if it's a romantic relationship because it's usually person with their significant other. So that's one example. Yeah, okay, let's see what's next. In a similar way, we can use hashtags that are specific to our guests. So we'll again search here, but instead of clicking on places, we'll click on tags. Again, we'll go to the recent for that tag, and we will follow the most recent posts. So let's say I have the Italian restaurant again, and I'm searching for consumers, guests for my restaurant. I can type in Orange County Pizza as an example for a tag. Then I can go to recent, see who posted, and obviously not click on the other businesses, but the people with the pizza potentially, or more likely to be guests or consumers. And you can also look for connections too. So people maybe that you want to work with or collaborate with. A collaboration is amazing because it's free and you can at least double, triple, usually quadruple your reach. So does anybody know what that feature is, especially in Instagram, to collaborate with another account? No?
Would you mind explaining, Sheila?
Sure. Okay. So if you go to CIELO's Instagram account or even my account, you'll see that the last post is for this particular event, and it's a shared post. So it's going to say on top, CIELO community and Sheila Ray. And what that means is it goes onto my grid and it goes onto their grid as well. And it's shared between both of our followers. So it's amazing. It will help you so much organically, and it's not something you have to pay for. I feel like when you boost a post, you can get maybe similar, but this one you don't have to pay for. And it's connecting to another account that also benefits. So sometimes promoting others is the best way to promote yourself. So this is a great way to find other accounts to work together with. And as a solopreneur or just starting your business, you can't do it alone. So try to find people to build your network with and share. There's so much to go around. Even if you're in a very competitive market, if you have the abundance mindset, there's so much for everybody. And we can go further together. Okay. So we can, as we said before, here's an example. We can follow people or find our guests by following another account's followers. So this is an account as an example, another account. These are the notes on why we're following. And in this example, we're looking at an Italian restaurant, local. So we also have locations here as well. And our goal for our first invitation cycle, let's say we're starting with 0, or let's say we're starting with 100. We have 100 followers. Then our goal, I like to work in the thousands. Our goal is to get to 1,000 followers with a little buffer, because the followers kind of go up and down like a lifeline. It's never going to be constant. You're going to lose and gain every hour, every day. So the buffer is nice. So we have that, and it takes months to do it organically, because if you look here, we have our warning sign. This is what I meant before when staying within the guidelines of Instagram as an example. I would suggest, depending on your size, doing only this or even less. If you're really good and specific with your research, you'll get a higher return. So it may not matter how many you do, as long as you're taking that time. Okay. So I set my goal of 1,000 with the buffer. I do my research and I follow. I keep track of where I'm following from with a similar template like this, nothing fancy. And then after we reach that 1,000 plus a little bit more, then we unfollow. So we'll have those followers for a long time. We're not just following and then unclicking real fast. So they're in our network for a long time, and we are as well in theirs. But once we reach our 1,000, which does take months, then we unfollow. And what that does, it leaves room for us to invite again. So once we get down to 0 following, that we're following to 0, then we can start up again. But just like when we follow other accounts, when we unfollow, there is also a limit on how many we can unfollow in a given hour or a given day. Is this making sense, or did I confuse anybody?
No, it makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, great. If not, feel free to speak up, because most likely somebody else has the same question.
Could you please elaborate a little more about that?
Yeah. So we are following other accounts in a strategic way. And once we get to our target goal, let's say we started with 100, then we get to our goal of 1,000. Then we're going to unfollow, because we only have so many invites available. Then we have to unfollow. So then once we get to 0 that we're following, then we can invite people again. And then we'll have another goal. Maybe it's 2,000 next time. And then we kind of just jump into 3,000, 4,000, and so on. But we always reel it back after every goal is reached. And what people get concerned about is, oh, are these people going to know I unfollow them? Are they going to still be able to interact and like and see my posts? The answer is no, they will not know that you unfollow them. And yes, everything will be the same for them. They can see everything, engage with everything just like before. Okay.
So Sheila, when
Yes.
when I unfollow someone, my post, they're gonna see my post anyway?
Yes. That's a common misconception. Yeah, they will see, because they're following you. And if you have friends or family that are connected to your page, just let them know. And it's much easier. And I feel like with people that I'm that close with, they have my phone number. You know, we're going to see each other. We're going to talk. It doesn't have to always be through Facebook or through Instagram chat. But anyway, Facebook is a little bit different. So we don't have the following and unfollowing on Facebook. What I like to do is you can invite people to your Facebook page, but even better is asking your friends or your close people in your network to invite their friends for you. And people always say, well, how do I do that? So I created, I'll put it in the chat at the end, but created a little kind of 4x6 template that you can give to that particular person. And it's a 4-step process. They follow your page. They click on community, or anyway, there's 3 simple steps, but it makes it very clear. And then that way you're getting their followers or their network. So it's another organic way to do it. And then we go on to our engagement or our messaging. So following the invitation cycles, what do we do when we get people following us back, these key people? We send them a message thanking them for following. So a short greeting, address a current challenge, offer a sample or a free discovery call. So here's an example. One of my clients was a lab supply company, and they found the specific struggle that these technicians were having in their lab. And they actually had a product that was the solution for this issue they were having. So we offered them a free sample. And it worked out great because there was no commitment on their part and it was giving. So I feel like in the mindset going from the first slides, from a solopreneur or more like the technician mindset to one where it's no longer about us and our product necessarily, but it's about what we can do for others and for the people that can benefit. So when you have that mentality, it's almost like you're thanking them for each interaction, for taking the time to be a part of your network, for following you. Because we only have so much time in the day and we're all very busy. So I think it definitely deserves recognition and specific. So in the greeting, always find out who the name of the person is, what you can offer that person or that kind of category of people that are following you back, and give them something. Maybe it's a handout. Maybe it's a discount. So
Sheila, I have two questions. How do you know what someone's like current challenge is?
mm-hmm.
And then, and then can you run this by with the Italian restaurant example?
Oh, sure. So again, that is being responsible. So we should know who our audience is, and we should know what they need, and kind of taking that time to, when you're starting your business, research these things, find them out. You can look at similar accounts online, on Instagram, on social media. There's different ways to find out who your target audience is, and knowing more about your product and service and your specialty. If we use the example of a coach, like, what is your specific USP, your unique service or your unique product, or something that makes you stand out? Maybe it's your personality. Maybe it's your experience. So knowing that will help. And if we use the restaurant example, I would say for an easy giveaway would be a discount, or maybe it's something minimal in cost for the restaurant, but potentially high in value for the customer, maybe a free dessert. So something that's small for them, but will bring the customer kind of, more happiness. So definitely dessert is always a good thing.
Okay. So maybe to go further in the example, like maybe with my research, I know that, that people are looking for a vegetarian Italian restaurant, for example.
Right.
And that's something that is missing. Then I know that's an obstacle, right? And somebody will say like, "Hi, Sheila. Thanks for following. Thank you for connecting. Thank you for connecting. I know the struggle to find a vegetarian restaurant is hard.
Or vegan,
or vegan. I want to offer you this free dessert."
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 25% off or something on your first try. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Here are a couple examples. So hello, Susan. I always use Susan. Hello, John, whoever it may be. Thank you for connecting with me. I like to use connecting because that's what we're doing. It is a social network. It's not just a transactional thing. I think, again, that's a big misconception. And in the previous slide, I did mention not to say everything at once. So try to make it like a conversation. Otherwise, the person on the receiving end is going to feel bombarded. They're not going to feel like they even have a chance to speak. Oftentimes, I leave things out, important things, and then I already know what they're going to answer with. And usually it's a question. So if we look at the first one, thank you for connecting with me. Here is a guide to help you pick out the perfect flowers for any special occasion. Something simple. It's not even money related. And we can give out the same handout to everybody, because everybody has some sort of occasion that they're going to be preparing for eventually in the year. and then leaving it open-ended to reach out. But again, it's not very salesy, and it's more on the giving tone. This one is a perfect example of not giving all the information. So one of my clients is a relationship coach. They're starting a certain class. We said it was on Tuesdays. We didn't say what time though. So that's not a bad thing. If you think about, if we put everything in there, it's just going to sound like a flyer. It's not going to be very inviting. So leaving room for people to ask questions is totally okay. And just to give you a real example, I hope this is okay, Gabby. This is something I sent out to CIELO a while back. So this is a real message, and this goes in line with, you don't have to search for people who are going to be direct clients or direct consumers, but maybe people you want to build your network with and have a two-way street. So I didn't find the name. So I just said, hello, thank you for connecting, and I'm happy to share my knowledge. And so she said, yes, appreciate it. We'll keep you in mind as a client resource. And then just a quick follow-up. So obviously that worked out great, because here we are with CIELO. So this does work, and it can be beneficial in many ways. So do we have any questions? That was the gist of it, but we can get into more details or go into any questions that you have with social media in general. We can.
I have a question.
Yes.
Hi. So do you do most of your communication through social media, or obviously that example is through text message? So in your knowledge, what would you say the best way of communicating would be?
In general?
Yeah, in general, like to make it more personable, to make it more like real, to be able to connect with your quote unquote customers. What have you found to be more connecting?
I really like to go in layers. So I feel like when I find the right people, I follow them, and we have that kind of exchange when they follow me back. So I'm like, okay, they're connecting with me over here. I'm going to bring them closer and message them. They message back. Okay, we're connecting again. Maybe I'll take it further and we'll go into that Zoom call, get to know each other a little better, depending, of course, on what you're selling or what you're providing and vice versa. But let's say mine's more of a service. So then I would connect maybe via Zoom or take that to email. If I don't hear from them after the email, maybe I follow up with a phone call. But I always like to do it in layers because I feel like it's more respectful. And again, that's going into the being responsible with social media, being responsible with marketing. So I'm not really keen on like texting or like right away if I don't even know the person, they haven't given me any type of permission to do so. So I'm not going to jump into that. But there are times, let's say, where I find a big company on social media or wherever, and they have thousands, maybe 1 million followers. Chances are they're not going to see my follow. We can't do that whole chain of connecting. So maybe I reach out to them via email or message. I don't get a response. It happens. It's fine. Then I take it a step further. Maybe I reach out by email. Maybe I get a response. Maybe I don't. And then I can follow up and say, hey, I reached out to you by email or whatever on here or on there. I'm really interested in what you offer. I feel like it could be a good collaboration to work together or whatever it is. So I would say stages at first, but there's also no harm in reaching out. I feel like, well, in that way, as long as there's a couple steps. But no, I feel like with the marketing there, especially in social media, there's this sense that, oh, we're going to be found. You know, if we just do it the right way, or if we have like the perfect post, the right person's going to come and we're going to go viral, whatever it is. But it's also fine if you find the right people or you make that call. So there's a push and pull. And I feel like the more we do both, the more we leverage both, and we leverage different platforms, the better. And we can find out what's working and then put our efforts into that area.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So Sheila, I have a question.
Yes.
So in regards to layering that you're talking about reaching out to an individual, collaborators, influencers, so on and so forth, companies, when you do reach out and it's been a week, it's been 2 weeks, it's been 3 weeks, maybe about a month.
Yeah.
At what point would you say it's time to go back? It's time to invest that time and get that person's attention, or move on? How would you say that could work? Because again, with me, for example, I have a clothing brand, and I've been trying to reach out to certain influencers on social media. And in doing so, you have individuals that have over 1 million, followers, or, 500,000 or whatnot. But
right.
Again, you reach out, there's no response, and that's just it. That's where it's finished for me. And there have been moments where I just say, oh, screw it. I just go at it through a different route.
Yeah.
But then again, you just stop and say, well, they do have a huge network, and it really just, all it takes is getting that one person to wear your stuff.
And maybe they are interested, but we have so much going on as a regular person, add entrepreneur or small business on top of that. I think it's fine to keep at it unless you get a specific response that says, no, I'm not interested. Then you have to be respectful and back away. But I feel like if they're on your list every week or every 2 weeks, just keep doing it. And if it's a bigger company and you're not getting any response back, sometimes what I do is I go to LinkedIn and I see the people involved in that particular company. And maybe I'm looking for a specific department. I find the head of that department through LinkedIn, because usually you can see their job title.
Right.
And then I send an email to that specific person in charge. Obviously, we get a lot of emails. If they don't respond within X amount of time, then I'll follow up with a phone call. I'll say, hey, I tried to get a hold of you via email. I'm really interested in this opportunity. I think would be an incredible match, or whatever it may be, whatever you have to offer. But again, trying to go from what you can provide or what you can do together is key.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Quick question. So the whole process, right, that we've talked about when it comes to getting more followers and then increasing engagement would be to do those invitation cycles, right? Where you have your goal of 1,000 and you follow them. And then once you reach that, starting over. And then when you follow them, sending that message, right?
Right.
So that's the overall process. Do you recommend only sending that hi message if they follow you back?
Yes, that's kind of the trigger. So you'll look at your notifications and you'll see who followed you back, and then you'll send out that template. But obviously you'll kind of change their name and maybe another detail or two. But yes. And then you can also have another route where maybe monthly you'll go back and see the key people that you hoped would have followed you back but maybe didn't. Then you can do another round where you reach out to those people. But I would do that separately, whatever works for your schedule. And to make sure not do too many in one day.
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah.
So the cycles. So we do all that research in like seeing who's following who has a similar product, but it's not like it's not competing. And then we just follow those people, and then
yes, that's exactly.
Everybody's kind of answering my questions. This was like a big thing for me because I'm not like big on social media stuff. So I actually had this question last month with the hustle trucks about social media and how to do it. It's just did it take you a long time to like, you know, do your researching and put your list together and then like all of that? Like, does it take long?
Not really. I think it will take less time than you think. It's just how well do you know your product and your service? And then kind of work backwards. Who is going to benefit the most from that? And then is your product or service local? And if so, which cities? So then you can kind of start figuring out, okay, well, if we use the restaurant as an example, we're not going to follow Italian restaurant hashtag. We're going to follow maybe OC restaurant or OC Italian food or OC pizza or something like that. If we follow hashtag Italian food or hashtag pizza, we're going to be open to the whole world. And it's going to take forever to find the key people that would benefit from us. So when you niche it down, you're going to have a smaller pool, but it's going to be more specific to you. And same with the place. So that's why I really like the locations, because I think you have a better shot for getting the right people.
Okay. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Yeah, it doesn't take that long at all.
Any more questions? We have about 3 minutes until we're at 5.
Yes, I have a question. So
yeah,
what's the best platform to make more profit? To Instagram, what's the best platform?
That's a great question. So I have a formula that I use. It's more like a pattern. So I will post a picture of myself, then I'll post maybe a client review, then I will post a behind the scenes of what I do, maybe some tips and advice. And I will keep posting like that on all platforms, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, wherever I decide to. And I will change up the formula depending on who's responding to what and where. And then sometimes when you tweak it, so let's say people are really responding to my client reviews or testimonials on LinkedIn, but not really on Instagram, as an example. So I'm going to replace that one on Instagram with something else that's doing better. So then you're putting the right information on the right platforms. And then you're just going to be doing better on all platforms that way. Or maybe you find out that you're not getting any traffic or any conversions on one platform. I would just shut that down for the moment and put all your efforts into the ones that are working the best for you. I hope that helped.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was a great question.
Sheila, I have one last question.
Yes.
In regards to boosting
yes.
your posts or even IG stories or whatnot.
Yes.
Are those effective?
Very.
You know, because I'm also on the Meta Business Suite, and I created ads on there as well. But sometimes it's just very easy just to boost a picture that you've posted, and so I see the amount of views they get, but I'm just wondering, did it actually work?
Did it actually work? I love that question. So
cool.
I really like boosting because when you think about it, the money it costs to boost is so little compared to, let's say, advertising in a quarter page of a magazine that's in your specific field. That could be hundreds, if not thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
But with Instagram, as an example, when you boost a post, it can be very specific So you can determine your audience, determine the location, so many things. What you can also do is you can have a direct call to action, a one click away, especially in the stories. So you add a link into your stories. That's literally a one click away. They don't get that from a magazine. They don't get that from a newspaper or whatever, or a printout or a mailer. They're literally one click away from your product. It's amazing. But again, going back to being responsible on social media, say you found the perfect person that's going to really benefit, really wants what you have to offer. Your job is to make that path of what they want as short as possible. So how do we do that? We be very clear on what we're offering in that post. We call out our link in bio in the description. So let's say we're giving 25% off, or it's a limited offer, whatever it is. See link in bio to get this limited offer, or see link in bio to purchase products. So they go one click to the bio. Usually you have a link tree or direct.me or something with multiple options. So they can go to the one at the top, which should be the one that you're promoting now. So you can move them from the middle to the bottom to the top. Whatever CPA is going on right now, like to start right at the top of my link tree or link in bio, whatever it is. Again, they're almost not one click away, but maybe 1.5 clicks, 2 clicks. And then if you're promoting a story, you can put that link, not the link tree or link in bio link in your story, but the actual page to sign up or the actual page to purchase.
Right.
And yeah, it's amazing. And I feel like for $30, that's what it defaults to over a 6-day period. I mean, why not? And just as a piece of advice, some people, they throw a lot of money into ads or into boosting, but make sure you do it in increments, because there becomes a time where you're not going to get more than what you put in, or more for what you put in. So there's a cap on that. And a lot of people are like, oh, we have a budget of X amount. We're going to put it all into boosting. Well, you make it the same results if you put in $100 versus $1,000. So do it in stages and see. It's going to be different for every industry and every account, but you may get satisfactory results with $30. So start small and then work your way up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks.
Last question.
Yes.
Okay. Last one.
So what's the best post? A video or just pictures? And what time on the day? Morning, afternoon, or what time?
Oh, that's a great question. So reels are definitely going to get you further because they're just promoted further in general. So a reel, video reel, and the best times to post is going to be different for every account. You're going to have to look, and we can go through this later. You have to look into your insights. Your insights are going to tell you everything. And maybe the best time to post is between 9 and 12 for you. Maybe it's between 6 and 10. It's going to be different. You have to look, and it might even be different depending on the day. So maybe on Tuesdays, people are more active in the mornings on your account or that are following you. Maybe on Fridays they're more active in the evening. And then you can see that, and then you can decide on when to post. But it's going to be different for everybody.
Definitely, like if you don't have any content on your account, especially on Instagram yet, you won't know when the best time for you to post is because you haven't seen really any activity. So if that's the case, try posting different things. And then later on in your profile, you can see what your insights are. You can see when people are interacting the most, right, Sheila?
Right. So you won't have any insights until you reach 100 followers.
Okay.
But that's what the following cycle is for, so you can get there faster.
Yeah. It's 5:04. Sheila, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate this conversation. If anyone else has any questions, you can direct them to me. I'll put my email in the chat, and then I can direct them to Sheila, or I will, CIELO will also be sending a recap email with this recording link. And maybe Sheila will definitely include your contact information on there. So that way people can reach out to you for more questions as well. Okay?
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely open to that.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great Wednesday night. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Bye.